Enduring pain and suffering. Every now and then we may be in situations and moments in our lives where we experience intense pain and suffering. We get into situations where we have to endure such situations. It is good to have mental preparedness to endure such situations. The pain and suffering that we experience can be physical pain, such as due to chronic health conditions, injuries, or illness. We can also suffer due to mental health or emotional difficulties. They can be in the form of intense sadness, feeling of being hurt, panic, anxiety, fear, anger. They can also happen due to conflicts, loss, natural disasters, accidents, mistakes, tragedies, and so on. We have to take actions, seek help, and do what we can to prevent and minimize the intensity of such experiences. At the same time, there may not be immediate instant end to the suffering. There may be a period of time when we have to endure such intense, unpleasant experiences. It is good to have a general reminder that change is a continuous process in our lives. Our life is a cycle of good and bad days. After every difficult time comes peaceful good time, and after every peaceful good time comes the time of difficulties. So no matter how bad the current situation is, eventually the difficult experience will calm down and the situation will be peaceful again. When we are dealing with intense momentary pain and suffering, it is good to have understanding and acknowledgement that it is time to endure the pain and suffering. Have acceptance that the pain will continue for some time ahead. Be willing to confront and experience the pain as long as it is necessary. Being desperate to instantly end the suffering may not be helpful, and that may make it more difficult to endure the situation. That can escalate the feeling of helplessness and make it more difficult for us. Focus on maintaining mental composure. Our mind can amplify the pain and suffering. That is also something to be aware of. Focus on breathing. Think of surviving one moment at a time, 1 second at a time, even 1 millisecond at a time. We can ask ourselves, can we endure the pain for next 1 millisecond? Survive 1 millisecond at a time. Feel satisfaction in having survived each one of those moments. Have prayers or phrases that you can recite. Keep in mind that eventually the pain will subside and things will calm down. Those are some ways to help us endure immediate momentary pain and suffering. We can also think of long-term pain and suffering. Long-term situations that are not intensely unpleasant every moment, but something that we are dealing with over long term. In such cases also, it is good to have awareness that things will change over time and have awareness that the current bad situation is a phase for endurance and survival. Our priorities and preferences can change over time. We adapt to the environment that we are in. Our habits, our expectations, our decisions can change over time. Our environment, surroundings, people we meet change over time. All those factors will eventually put us in another situation in future. The current situation will not last forever. Eventually, things will get better. And while we work towards moving to better situation, acknowledge that the current bad time is a time to endure some pain and suffering. Time to accept that this is time when we are tested, the time to endure and survive. Have long-term plans to solve the sufferings, but also plan on taking one step at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 week at a time. Feel satisfaction in having survived each day of this difficult phase in our life. Know that the ongoing pain and suffering will come to an end. Our life is a constant cycle of good and bad times. Nothing lasts forever, and this too shall pass.